Back again with another video, and this time we are going to learn a different technology in web text. So up till now we have learned about HTML, CSS, and today we are going to learn about JavaScript. So let's start a session. In today's session, we are going to perform these five examples. In the first one, you can see the question is write a function that accepts a string as a parameter and find the shortest and longest word within the string. Suppose example the string is web development tutorial. So it should display the shortest is web and longest development. So how we can do this? In JavaScript there's a function called split. So it will display it will split the string into number of arrays depending upon the parameter which you give. Suppose we give a space in this parameter space string, so it will split the string based on the number of spaces that we encounter in the string. And uh, there are other functions that we are going to use in this experiment. Is find the length of the string, we'll use string name dot length, and to find the size of an array we'll use array name dot length. So here is our first experiment. In this, you can see, so you can see here I'll type hey, hey, how are you? So when I press OK, you see the smallest string, the shortest one is you, and the longest is hey. Actually, hey and how are of same length, that is 3, but it is displaying the longest one is hey because hey is encountered first. So let's see what we have coded to perform this action. You can see in the HTML there's a paragraph which displays the shortest, and this there's a span ID with ID D1. In this span we'll display our shortest string, and span ID D2. In this we'll display the longest string. So in this script, our script that is JavaScript, we have declared some variables like str, in which we will store the string that will be given by the user from into input, that it will return the string that is entered by the user, and it will be stored in this str variable, that is the str string. And then str dot split, and parameters we have given a space, so this will split our string uh, based on the number of spaces that it encounters, like it will store an array of words that we enter. So now there we have taken two variables max and min. In this we are storing the first and the in both we are storing first value of the array ARR, and then there is a for loop which is executing the number of times, like the length of the array it will execute. And then there are two conditions. Suppose the first condition is max dot length less than array I dot length. Actually, first time you can see the array I is array 0. So if and max is also same, so it will be equal. So nothing will happen, and in else if part also nothing will happen. Next time when we will iterate, so array 1, it will be so next time it will be arr 1 dot length. So if the second one is greater than this max dot length. The length of the second word is greater than the length of the max, so it will put max as the second element. And similarly, in if that element is smaller than the minimum dot length, the length of the minimum, so it will put that element in minimum. So it will iterate like this, and at the end we'll get the maximum, that is the largest string in this max variable, and the minimum length string in this minimum variable. And through this document dot get given by id dot in that parameter we have to give the id of the element where we want to display the min. So that is d1 dot inner html. This is the syntax how we change the document, that is our html, manipulate it through javascript. So again, document would get given by id d2 dot inner html equal to max, like this. So now after the script I have given a anchor tag. In this I have given a hyperlink index2.html, which will transfer us to the next exercise. So let's see our next exercise. Next exercise is a BMI calculator. In this, the following HTML snippets. Okay, we have given an HTML snippet already. According to this, we have to write a JavaScript which will do the following thing. First is it will calculate a BMI. Uh, Actually, the user will give input in this text boxes, and there will be a button. On clicking that button, it will transfer us to the calculate function. So our functionality we have to put in this calculate function. Now, this BMI is calculated as weight upon height into height. So we have to use this formula to calculate the BMI and then display the result on the HTML document. And then another thing that we have to do is it should describe the person's body type. Actually, what is body type? If we have a BMI less than 18, so our body type will be underweight. If we have uh, BMI within 18 to 25, so it will be a normal human being. And if it is above 25 and less than 30, it will be an overweight person. And if it is greater than 30, it will be obese. So by looking at this data, we can put some if-else conditions and we can work through it. So let's see. This is the output that we have got. Actually, if I enter, suppose my weight is 65 and my height is 1.2 meters. Actually, it's in meters. So, oh, I'm obese. Its BMI is coming to 4.45.14. So, I need to type. I think. So, the next is like this is the code that I have written to perform this action. To create this web page. So first of all, in the body tag, that HTML part is already given in the example in this one. So we have to just copy paste it, nothing much. And then what we have done in JavaScript, you can see in the script tag, there is a function calculate. It will calculate the BMI. So there are first two variables, W and H, which will store weight and height of the person, and they are like document.getElement by ID. ID is weight dot value, and this thing I have passed as parse float, because this will return me some other value which I have to parse or convert it into float data type, because I want this my W and H as a float data type so that I can calculate BMI easily. So Here I'm calculating BMI. BMI is equal to W upon H into H. And here I have given two fixed and then parameters I have given two. What this will do, this function will, suppose our value is coming to be 4.5328. So only 4.53 will be visible. Won't get 28. Means I want to get my value up to just two decimal points. Then there is another value type to store the type of the human being, like normal, obese, or what just now we saw. So then there is we are displaying the BMI document.getElement by ID score. Now score is the ID of text view, I think, text box. Yeah, yeah. This is a span element where we'll display the score, BMI score here, and then there's another span element of type of ID type where we'll store the type of the person. The body type is so and so. So here we have given some if-else conditions, like if BMI less than 18, type is equal to underweight. Else if BMI greater than 18, greater than equal to 18, and BMI less than 25, so it will be normal. And BMI greater than equal to 25 and BMI less than 30, it will be overweight. The type will be overweight. And then BMI greater than equal to 30, so it will be type will be obese. So at the end, we are printing this type document through this document.getElement by ID type and dot inner HTML equal to type. This is the type variable that we are changing it here. So this was the second experiment, and let's move on to the third one. We have to do the third one. Yeah, this is the currency converter. Actually, here we have to convert the currency from Indian rupee to dollars and dollars to Indian rupee. So here what we have done, the HTML part is already given to us. We have to just write JavaScript code. So here you can see in this text box, I will write suppose 64 rupees, and here I have written Indian rupees, and here I have written US dollars. So I'll calculate. It will give me 1.024. It is approximately $1 or $1.024 to be exact. So if I convert US dollar to Indian rupee, it will be 4,096 rupees is equal to $64, 64 US dollars. So this is how my JavaScript code works. Let's see what we have coded in this to get this result. So you're quite familiar with this HTML. I don't need to explain this part, or you can refer this. I'll give the code in the description below, and you can refer to the code. So let's jump onto this JavaScript code. So there is a function convert which will convert from Indian rupee to US dollar to Indian rupee, or US dollar to US dollar, Indian rupee to Indian rupee. So it will take in consideration all the combinations. So here there will be some variables. The first one is data, where we'll store the data or the value that we are taking from the user here, like this data, and then it is done through parse float document dot get element by id data dot value, like the value stored in this text view, edit text. So then there is index 1 and index 2, two variables. What they will do, actually these are saving the this thing, like suppose in the first one I select Indian rupee, so the index one will be 0, and if I select US dollar it will be 1. Similarly here, if I put US dollar it will be 0, and if I put Indian rupee it will be 1. So index 1 like what we have selected in this first select box, and index 2 is what we have selected in the second. So here if index 1 equal to 0, that is in the first one if it is US dollars, and index 2 equal to 0. The second one is Indian rupee. So actually the first option here is Indian rupee and here is US dollars. So both will be 0. If both will be 0, then data is equal to data into 0.016. We'll convert it to Indian rupees. And then if index 1 equal to 1 and index 2 also equal to 1, I've used make sure this see that I have used ampersand operator. So if both conditions will be true, then only it will work. Then it is converting US dollars into Indian rupee. That is data is equal to data into 64. 64 is the multiply factor to convert US dollars into Indian rupee, and 0.016 is the multiplication factor to convert the Indian rupee into US dollars. So then here we are printing document.getElement by ID answer.nil HTML is equal to data. Actually here you can see if suppose we encounter 0 1 or 1 0, like both will be same Indian rupee. So what will do, the value will remain same. Actually we won't be changing anything, like neither this if statement neither else if statement, both will not work. So the data will remain same and will be displayed as it is. So this was the third one. Let's move on to the fourth experiment. This is a birthday cake order form. So here the HTML code is written. Here what you have to do, there's a half kg cake which is costing 100 rupees. There's a 1 kg cake which is costing 200 rupees, and a 2 kg cake that is costing 400 rupees. We have to calculate the tax, that is additional tax 9% to the order, and then there will be some tip. Suppose it will be 10 to 20%, that will be 10%, 15%, 20% according to the customer that how much he wants to give, and that will cost get calculated on the total cost, that is the tax and plus the cake cost. So let's see. Here this is the HTML part. Yeah, already loaded. So we can see number of half kg cakes. If we put one, we put 1 kg cake size 2, and number of 2 kg cakes as again 2, and tip, the tax which percentage is fixed at 9% tax, and if we give tip as suppose 15% or 10%, okay, so calculate order, the cost of the order will be 1558.7. So how it is coming, let's see. Actually again there is a calculate function in my JavaScript code. So what it is doing, there is S, M and L, three variables which will store number of half kg cakes, number of medium cakes, that is 1 kg cakes, and the number of 2 kg cakes, because each one has a different cost. So there will be another variable cost which will store the cost of all three. So here I'm calculating the total cost, that is cost of all three, not total cost, cost of all three cakes, that is S into 100 plus M into 200 plus L into 4000. This S, M and L represent the number of small, medium and large cakes. Then there is tax that I'm calculating. The tax percentage you already know, that is 9%. So that is cost into 9. You shouldn't forget to put this basis and then divide by 100. So that is how we'll calculate the tax. This is just the tax. So now I'm going to add this tax to the cost. So that will be the cake cost. So there will be another variable cake cost in which I'll store cost of the cakes plus the tax. So that will be cake cost. And this, then again I'll calculate tip percent. So there will be tip percent a variable in which I'll store the percentage tip that a customer wants to give. You know, here we have put some radio buttons, like three radio buttons are there. One is for 10%, other is for 15%, and other is 20%. So each of them will return a value that is 10, 15, or 20. So that we store in this tip underscore percent variable, and then this tip variable, it will calculate the cost, tip cost that the customer is paying. So that will be cake cost into tip percent divided by 100. So that will be the tip, and the total cost of the cake will become cake cost plus the tip. So that will be total cost is equal to cake cost plus tip. Uh, that is document but determined by ID. Price is a price span or like element whatever. Yeah, yeah, span only with ID price. So here I'm displaying this total cost. So here you can see how this cost is coming. So this was the fourth experiment. Now we come to the last one. So in the last one, what we have to do, we have to create a fruit farm, like, and like an agricultural farm. So there are some number of plants that we can put. Like suppose all the plants are in rows and columns type. So here also we are going to do the same thing. It will be like the user has to enter the number of rows and the number of columns required, like how many plants you want to put, and then he has to select the image. In our case, in web, we are putting image. You can put in your context anything. So the image will have some one, two, or three IDs. If we put one, so a type of image will be displayed. Then if we put two, then another type of image, a different image, and then three, then a different image will be displayed in the rows and columns type. So the HTML code is given. You can just copy paste it, and yeah, in this you can see. Suppose I enter 3 cross 3, that is 3 rows and 3 columns, and which image you want to pick. I'll put the second one. So I'll try with some other image. Yeah, it was a little slow, but it worked out. So you can see if I put any other, so that another image will be displayed. See here, we cross to that is this third image. This is the first image. This is the second image. This is the third image. So what the code we have tried in our JavaScript, we have created a function grow, which will do all the stuff for us. So in this, I have created some variables. The first one is array, which will store the images, that is first image, second image, and third image. So by default, this the first array element will have a index 0, and then the second one will index 1, and the third one with index 2. And then there are two other variables, r and c, which will store the number of rows and the number of columns. And then there is another variable choice, which will store the value entered by the user, the choice, like which image he wants to get displayed, like the first one, second one, and third one. So here we have written parsing document by ID choice dot value -1. Why this -1? Actually, array starts from 0, 1, and then 2. So this -1 is for make it 1, 2, and 3. The choice of the user, as because the user will enter suppose 1. He wants this first image. Instead, if we don't put this -1, so program will consider it as this one as the first. So it will display this. So just to make the choice of the user synchronize with this array, we have put this -1, and then there is a for loop from I equal to 0 to r, and then another nested for loop for j is equal to 0 to c, like the number of rows and number of columns. So it will display document by ID garden dot in HTML equal to that is plus equal to. So it will append the images in that div or span where this ID is contained garden. Here we have written the Java, that is HTML code, sorry, HTML code, image source equal to array choice plus width is equal to 100 pixel, height is equal to 100 pixel. So all the image will be of height and with 100 pixel only. Then there is document.getInner by ID garden dot inner HTML plus equal to br. So that is the break line for this break line. So after each row, there will be a break line. Like the cursor will come to the next line, and then it will display another row, then another row, like that, and so on. So this was our last one. Hope you are clear with the JavaScript. I'll make another video on JavaScript as soon as possible, and make you to practice all the experiments. I'll give the link of this website, this the experiment 5, the link description in the description. Thank you.